Our meeting must be conducted in an orderly and respectful manner so that we can carry out the city's business in decency and in order. This afternoon, Chief Knight will be serving as our Sergeant at Arms. His role is to help maintain respectful behavior in the chamber. If any interruptions occur, Chief Knight will issue one warning and ask you to settle down. If this disruption continues after the first warning, you will be asked to leave the meeting. Thank you again for the cooperation as we begin today's meeting. I would like to call to order the Prichard City Council meeting. Today is May the 28th, 2026, and it is now 4:14 p.m.
Invocation and Pastor Lewis.
Will we please stand for prayer and the pledge? If we pray this evening, I'll ask us to join together in prayer for two of our very own. One, Mr. Chalker, who lives on Anderson, suffered an accident. Our great personnel came and took care of him. He's in the hospital, perhaps going to lose an arm and all his week. And of course, our own Scott, whom we all love, his dad had a little mishap yesterday and is banged up. So we'll remember Mr. Lacey and Mr. Chalk, please. Let us pray. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. What a privilege to come and pray to a God who hears and comes speedily to our aid. We lift up these whose names have already been mentioned. We ask for healing for them, restore them to full health. We pray for every member of our city council individually and then corporately as a group. We pray your will be done in this meeting. We lift up both of our legal counsel who are present. Give each of us the will to do that which is right. Give a sense of peace, a sense of purpose. We pray for our mayor, her staff, for every employee of this city. We lift them up in prayer. We pray for safety for those who work, especially in this inclement weather. We ask that you will bless our meeting in its entirety. Every citizen who daily gives their time, talent, and treasure to make this a better place. All these prayers we make in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And the people of God say it. Amen. I have a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Roll call. Councilwoman Williams.
Present.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood.
Present.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis.
Present.
Councilman Smith.
Here.
Councilwoman Kale.
We do that. Thank you, Pastor.
We have two items that are too late to add to the agenda for approval of the agenda. One is concerns regarding garbage and presentation, and another is proposed resolution. Gonna add those on the approval of council agenda.
Repeat those two. So we can repeat those two, please.
Okay. Concerns for the garbage, there's gonna be a presentation, they want you.
Madam President, that is going to be done during my regular mayor's report. I'll say it's 4 items, like 4 8. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, they're here, but I was just gonna say they could do it on the mayor's report. It's up to you. Is it an actual presentation that they're presenting, or are they just no? Yesterday during the special call meeting, I mentioned that the owner and president of A1 could come before the council
And so, the council on yesterday said that would be, good and okay, and so I invited them to come.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
No, I just question, did we say that, cause I do recall saying we did both of them here, I think it was the other one too. It was A1 and the, one from Florida or Decay.
Well, he couldn't, he's not here today.
Approval of council agenda.
There are motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Point of order, Mr. President, I have in front of me a resolution authorizing the city council to request an official opinion from the AG. I just didn't see that on the agenda and I wasn't clear if we're adding that or not.
Right, it's not too late.
I think that requires a vote at this late stage. I could be incorrect about that. Am I wrong about that?
Can we refer that to our council attorney?
Okay.
Is there a second for the agenda?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith, Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Request to table the May 21st, 2026 council conference and meeting minutes.
This was a request, it was covered by Councilwoman Mims that the wrong meeting minutes were attached to this agenda package. Was there a motion to table the approval of the Thursday, May 21st, 2026 conference meeting minutes until next?
I make a motion to table the minutes for, that were presented, they were May 14th, but we need the corrected minutes for May the 21st.
Is it second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Reports, mayor and staff reports.
Greetings, council,
Greetings.
mayor, and citizens. I bring to you to the fire department weekly report. We had a total of 36 calls, only one vehicle fire, which was May 27th. That was located at St. Stephen's Road and I-65 northbound route. That's all we had. Any questions? Thank you.
Madam President, may I ask a question of the chief? I just want to clarify the accuracy of a rumor. Do you have access to the personnel board?
As of, yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, council. I'm here to get a report for the police department for the week of May 16th, 2026 to May 22nd, 2026. Patrol officers answered 330 calls and they're broken down into districts as follows. District 1, 63 calls. No significant event. District 2, 73 calls with no significant event. District 3, 74 calls with no significant event. District 4, 73 calls. On your report, Councilwoman Bettis, it was a typo on the back of it. It had that you had 4 significant events. That was from last week. But the correction, you had 1 significant event on May 16, 2026, at approximately 18:58 hours. There was a signal 9, a person struck by a vehicle at 813 Prichard Avenue, District 4. The victim was struck by a vehicle while riding a bicycle. The driver of the vehicle fled the scene. The victim refused medical assistance and refused to have a report. District 5, 47 calls and no significant event. Any question?
Thank you, Chief.
I'm gonna stand here, so we don't have that noise. Good afternoon, council. I'm going to, make my remarks very brief. Just want to, good afternoon, citizens. I apologize. Um, I just want to remind you all of the park naming that we have over here. In addition to that, I would like to, we had, Mr. Simpson to donate us a Connex box, which you see out there, that we would like to make as a mural. It will be a place where we will store our equipment for the garden and the park out there, since we don't have a storage unit. But we want to make it pretty, so we'd like to put out an RFP to have an artist come and do a mural on that on the storage box out there. But I just wanted to remind you about the park naming, and if you could get some recommendations back to us as quickly as possible on that. We do want to acknowledge that we had a wonderful event here in the council chamber for Memorial Day, where we honored one of the Montfort Point Marines with the Congressional Gold Medal. And so we wanted to say to that family that we're very honored that they chose Prichard for that occasion. Other than that, we have before you again on the agenda about the contract for garbage service. We gave you a quote yesterday when we had the special meeting. You all asked for a quote from another company, and we gave you a quote from the other company, so you should have that as well for the 90-day contract. I'm going to yield my report time to the president and CEO of A1 McDuffie to come up and give us a brief talk on what they have done with the city, their relationship with the city, and just garbage in general, and some of the best practices that he's seeing as he does do business with other cities around the county.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. So my name's Kenneth Havens. I'm the owner of A1 McDuffie Sanitation. We have been doing business with the city of Prichard and consider ourselves to be friends of the city of Prichard since 2020, if I'm not mistaken. We received a call when the solid waste department drivers, y'all had, I think a couple of the drivers had quit. One of the drivers were in hospital with COVID-19. We received a call, and I personally have been driving routes. I've drove every one of the routes that the city of Prichard has. Since then, we've had a relationship with the city and are very familiar with y'all's setup, what y'all currently have going on. And I wanted to be able to come today to be able to answer any questions that you guys may have. One of the things that we presented was a 90-day emergency contract. Looking at the situation with the city of Prichard currently owns garbage trucks. The city of Prichard currently has people employed to run these garbage trucks. The city of Prichard also has lease trucks, and it's my understanding that you guys are at the end of that cycle for the leased equipment. Uh, what I've been in the waste industry. I grew up in it. My grandparents started it back in 1998. So I've been in it a really long time. I won't go into a lot of that, but I've seen a lot of stuff and I understand the experiences that you have, and how difficult it can be to run a solid waste department. Uh, one thing that you'll see if you look at other cities, a lot of cities are getting out of it. Saraland has gotten out of the solid waste business. Chickasaw is no longer in it. The city of Mobile, when they recently annexed part of West Mobile, contracted us to be able to take care of the solid waste for that new area. Um, so that I just wanted to see one to start to see if y'all had any questions for us and to see if y'all would like for us to present anything in particular.
Thank you for coming out today. And thank you, excuse me, thank you for coming out today and speaking with us. Some of the questions that we had, is what we asked for comparison for what you were offering for the city, against other services that would offer the same service. So that was one of the reasons why we asked for RDK to be here, present as well today.
Correct. So just so I understand, RDK is the company that y'all are currently leasing the equipment from, correct?
That's
So the both avenues can be good avenues to go down. Uh, it's apples and oranges. So one, what we're presenting is the city would receive one bill that you would know before we started at exactly what it was going to cost. We would take care of the fuel, regardless of whether it went up or it went down. The landfill, regardless of whether it went up or went down. The trucks, regardless of whether the transmission broke, the arm fell off the truck, the auger quit working, all of those things would be assumed as our responsibility. Currently with the setup that y'all, I'm assuming RDK doesn't pay for the fuel, the landfill, the labor, the arm falling off the truck, the auger. So one thing that I see is operating a solid waste department and a company in itself is what kills you is the unexpected expenses. Operating the city of Mobile, we had a transmission go out, $18,000. We purchased a brand new truck. It was a Rush Peterbilt truck, showed up on our yard. We drove it here. Everybody was excited. It's shiny, brand new, smelled great. The next morning they went out to crank it, 4:30 in the morning, truck won't start. They sent mechanics on site. For 2 days, they were out there trying to get the truck started. Was never able to get the truck started. We paid $650 personally to tow the truck. The truck was down for a month and a half while we still had a note on. Those are the type things that you get into when you have equipment, heavy equipment. Based off of, we have not personally rented trucks from RDK, so I can't speak to what they offer and what they do. We have rented trucks personally. What happens is the truck rental companies are in the business to be able to make money, just like everybody is. Where they typically make the most money is when you send the trucks back in. There's verbiage in their contracts that says that you have to turn the truck in the same condition in which you got the truck, and you're responsible for anything outside of what that looks like. So my recommendation, as far as whether it's a 90-day contract with us, another company, when we are trying to fix issues in our company, a lot of times I tell the staff, we're trying to fix the bus as the bus is rolling down the hill because the bus can't stop. It's still rolling. And the issue right now is y'all have a solid waste department that has to pick up garbage tomorrow, regardless of whether people show up or not. So what happens tomorrow when 3 people don't show up to work is y'all call us in order to be able to provide those services, which cost more because we don't have people just sitting here ready to come to be able to take care of the things that need to be taken care of. We have to pay our people overtime above and beyond to be able to provide those services. And what we're recommended is a 90-day window, regardless of who you go with during that window, to figure out what's wrong with the trucks that y'all currently have. How much would they cost to fix? Do a cost analysis to be able to figure out, do we go down the path of fixing the trucks? Can the labor board compare to private companies to where the labor board in the city of Prichard is training drivers to get their CDLs? They get them and then they go work for other companies for $4 more an hour. that's something that y'all are competing with, that other cities are also competing with and seeing. Uh, that's the reason why a lot of people are going with contract work versus doing the work themselves. Regardless of what avenue that you guys decide to go down, I personally feel like, and this is obviously just from my perspective from being in the waste industry for as long as I have, you need the ability to press the pause button, figure out what's broken, how it needs to be fixed. During that 90-day window, you guys could put out a request for proposal with verbiage that says that y'all have the right to reject any and all bids. During that period of time, doing a cost analysis on your trucks to see whether RDK is the right answer, whether to fix the trucks that y'all currently have, or decide to put it out for bid. That's what that 90-day window gives y'all the ability to do. It's almost like somebody giving y'all the keys to a new car, says drive it for 90 days, and if y'all don't like it, just turn it back in. So that's kind of what I had. One thing I did want to bring up is because I wasn't actually here for the last meeting, but I heard that I watched on YouTube the live stream from the last council. Somebody had asked if we were the company that had stored pipe at Prichard Stadium. I wanted to answer any questions that y'all may have for that. That was something that, so with our roll-off side, we also haul metal. The mill had cut us off to where we wouldn't be able to haul. We were looking for a laydown yard. I called the previous mayor. I asked if y'all had anywhere that we could use for storage. Y'all had an invoice with us that was open. He agreed for $1,000 a month to be able to use the facility. And we gave the city of Prichard a credit for that. And so I actually printed out that invoice if y'all would be interested in seeing that, where that came from. I was not aware that did not go before the council. Or that anybody acted on it.
Madam President. I would like, Mr. Kenny to talk about the relationship and the fact that he has allowed us to carry these balances and still provide service to us. So can you speak to the relationship in that way financially, how you have tried to assist the city?
For sure. So obviously I know that there's the way that y'all's budget work, there's certain times of the year that y'all have more finances than others. There's been times where we've had invoices that's went months unpaid, that we've received calls to be able to come in and run the routes, or to when the place where y'all dispose of the waste cut y'all off and said that y'all were no longer able to dump there. We were in good standing, so therefore the mayor put in place roll-off containers to be able to put y'all's trash that y'all picked up off the road into the containers for us to be able to take those things to the landfill. We paid the bill when we had to wait to be able to receive ours. We've done our best. There's been times where y'all have had debris trucks, knuckle boom loaders that have went down that we've made hydraulic hoses for. Our goal from the very beginning has been to be a friend to the city of Prichard. Our company has grown tremendously since we have built our relationship. We're currently picking up in Alabama and in Mississippi, but we've always valued the relationship that we've had with the city of Prichard. And like I mentioned earlier, it kind of sounds mom and pop and small company operations, but there's been time when we've received calls that y'all had 4 trucks that was down, that I personally have jumped in a garbage truck and drove. I've been over here at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night picking up with Big John. I don't know what was John's last name. Like being the pilot truck to show me where to go to make sure that everything was taken care of. So regardless of whether y'all go with us or another company, I would hope that y'all would see the value of the relationship that we've had with the city of Prichard. But I'm willing to help direct and navigate and give any type of input that I can to be able to put y'all in the best possible position, not only for y'all, but for y'all's constituents.
us anymore.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Granted, we just have gotten this invoice and I don't like to get invoices that I'm expected to make a decision on. An intelligent decision. But I see, dumpster number 32003 was dumped on 5/2, again on 5/2, again on 5/2. Why would you empty the same dumpster 3 times? Is it filling up that fast?
So that's not an invoice to be paid. Like, so what that invoice is for is to show on the last page of the invoice, the credit that was given for storing the material at Prichard Stadium. So what that is when Brownlee had cut y'all off from being able to dispose of the waste that y'all were hauling, that the knuckle boom loaders were collecting. We had roll-off containers that were there. To be able to, like, when the drivers would pull a box, they would be able to dump that. That's what I was talking about, the relationships that we had. When you guys were cut off, we were able to still haul the stuff so that y'all's trash trucks were able to continue running.
Madam President, just for clarification, I believe the numbers that you referred to, is in the parentheses, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you look at the number next to it, those numbers are the different numbers. On the dump.
So even though this says invoice, is not really an invoice, is what you're saying.
Right, so
Yeah, so I was showing y'all where, like, there was questions. I'm not exactly sure what all the questions were, but I know there was a big deal made about the metal being at Prichard Stadium, how it got there, why it was there, when it left. And I was showing you that the agreement was $1,000 a month for while the material was stored there. And that invoice is where you guys receive the credit for using the material. Like for being able to use the facility.
Okay. So, pardon my ignorance, but so 32003 is what's in parentheses on the same day, 4 different times. However, the mayor is saying, don't pay any attention to that. The real number is next to it, number 39252, for example. Explain to me what this is saying.
So what page you looking at there?
I was just pointing out the difference in the numbers.
Well, it says dumpster number 32003, number 32003, emptied on 5/02, 5/02, 5/02. I'm just questioning. Like I said, I'm not a public works person. I'm not a,
Correct. So what the knuckle boom loaders would be full with debris. Y'all have multiple that's running at one time, sometimes 3 or 4 that's running at one time. So y'all were not able to dump the material at the landfill. So y'all were dumping them into a roll-off container. The truck would pull up, they would unload their material, we would haul it, we would come back. So yeah, that's accurate.
So it is the same thing.
So at the time, there's 6 containers on the yard, but what happened was there's a reoccurring job that will be on the driver's tablets. So it may not be that particular box, but it's one of the 6 boxes that were on the yard.
So I guess what she's asking for you to explain the difference in those numbers. Like,
Yeah, so that's just the reoccurring jobs that were on there. They would just grab a box to be able to pull to take that.
What's the number? What do you see? It's the side.
Yeah, it was just the asset number that's actually on the box.
number that's on you.
number. And what's the other number? It's the one with the hashtag.
That's just the job number.
So one is the container number and one is the job.
That's correct. This one.
So if they came on 5/2 to the same dumpster, it would be the same number in parentheses,
Correct, but a different
but
job.
a different job number.
Yeah, job numbers would be the same. That it would be a new job with the fruition.
I have a question for you, and I want to thank you for coming out and talking to us this evening. I appreciate that and the service that you said that you all have given to the city in the past. I would like to know, you said that you didn't know that the contracts had to come before the council. Who signed the contract?
There wasn't necessarily a contract. I wasn't saying the contract. I didn't know that it wasn't brought before the council. I guess the questions before was when the metal was there, who authorized it, why was it there, how long was it there, all that information. And so that's what I wanted to clear up.
Madam President. Well, I would like to say, I've got a whole book of notes of research that I've been doing and talking to people who run fleets. One thing that he said is, and you're right, we do have 4 trucks. They need to be totally assessed. He told me what needs to be assessed. He said the cab chases, that's the brain. Everything you told me, I said, what is that? What is that? He also said the body needs to be assessed. The auger needs to be assessed. He said, a good mechanic can do all the work except for the arm. Is that correct?
To a certain degree.
Okay. So one of the things that I know for a fact that we have allowed our maintenance to just fail. And the trucks have not been maintained. They have not been evaluated. And I think one of the things that we need to do with our Public Works Committee, that's one of the things we need to really look at. Because one of the things, it's one thing to outsource, but the people did not elect this administration to outsource our government. What they did elect her for is to run our government and make it proud. And I do know when you start outsourcing, you do lose control, and you do what starts out as very affordable. You're really a captive, and you have no choice because you have nothing of your own. So you have no choice but to pay it. So where I stand is we need to go ahead and do the 90-day emergency or whatever we need to do while we evaluate what we have and where we go from here.
Yes, sir. I would like to add something to that if you can, if you don't mind. I don't disagree with anything that you said at all. The one thing that I feel like the difference between, I guess, from my view and yours on that is the ability to, one thing that you would have with having an outsourced contract with a good contractor, with a relationship is accountability. And it's the one thing that I see that's missing. And it's hard to have accountability when the budget, the unexpected expense is killer. It's killer. You can budget for what you expect the waste to be, but year 1, the truck's brand new. You're still going to incur some expense. You turn the truck back in, whether you rent it, you're going to incur some expense. But my question, just feedback for you guys to be able to ask, because I know there's obviously has to be a salesperson that's pushing for you guys to remain renting the equipment. What happens when the trucks turn back? What happens when the trucks are turned back in? What does that invoice look like? 2, when y'all get here, when the driver gets here at 6 o'clock in the morning and goes to start his truck and the truck will not start. Do they have another one in the area that's capable? Are they going to bring it over here immediately? Are they going to pay for the shipping of that truck to get here? Are they going to pay for the emergency services that you guys are going to incur during that period of time? And from my experience, everybody is great with you getting the trucks until you get the trucks and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and nobody answers the phone. One thing that I could say with our resume, one with the city of Prichard, but call the city of Louisville, call the city of Chickasaw, call the city of Mobile. There's not been one day where the sun has came up that all the garbage from yesterday has not been picked up. In any contract that we have, that's the city of Macon, Noxubee, Laurel, Greene County, Stone County. Not one day have we never picked up the garbage from yesterday and the sun came up to it. And I think it's a really good recipe. And there's no reason why we would do anything different.
Madam President, may I add to that? One of the things that you just said is one of the main reasons why we looked at moving from doing our operations is because of this surprise bills that we receive from having to have these major repairs done on these trucks. If you read your lease agreement, it says that we have to be responsible for these trucks, anything outside of normal wear and tear. So that means that anything happens to the truck, we have to repair it. And that could happen today. It could happen. In fact, it did happen today. We had an accident in one of the garbage trucks today. So that means that sometime within the next 30 days, we're going to get an unexpected bill. If you look at your budget, we had nothing budgeted for emergency repairs to our garbage service or to our garbage trucks. So as far as being in control, when you have that kind of thing happening, you are not in control. We're not in control of our budget. And that's the reason why we're looking at this recommendation.
Mayor, I may, comment on you, but I want to talk to this gentleman first. You made the statement that you know, there's a sale rep pushing.
He said maybe.
I was,
To him.
right, I was,
Now I'm talking to him. Let him answer. He looked like an intelligent person to me. I heard you to say that you know there's a sale rep pushing. So where did that come from? Because I want to let you know that when I make a decision, I don't make it on nobody pushing anything.
right,
And I have the knowledge. I'm not in the garbage business,
Right.
but I've been in a business before, several business before. And also in the field that I'm in, I have to make logical decisions. Sometimes I have to make quick decisions. So I don't make them based on what other people say. I make it based on my knowledge, what I've read
right,
and what I do. So I just heard you say that, and I just want to clear that up.
right,
So when you see me sitting here, I'm listening to everything you're saying, and I would make my decision based on what I hear you saying, what I've read, and what other people have said.
right,
I don't make decisions at the spur of the moment when it comes to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
absolutely,
And we have to look at all of that. And I do know in contracts can be made to be altered if you sit and talk to people too. So I just want to make that known too.
right. So I apologize if that came across the wrong way. What I was trying to say by saying that is obviously if you have a representative from a company that's representing themselves and selling it, the AC always blows cold and the tires are always good. And that's so when I'm representing our company, the AC's blowing cold and the tires are good. But there's other people that's test drove it. So what I was saying is there's certain things to look for, regardless of whether you're buying trucks, leasing trucks, going with a different company, going with our company, regardless of what that looks like, there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. That's all I meant for.
And just for the record, I haven't talked to no reps about leasing trucks or anything of that.
Right.
You're the first one that I've heard.
Yes. Hopefully I'm doing a good job.
You really selling yourself.
Well, thank you. I
But you
appreciate it.
have to read up on what you're talking about.
100%. I don't have any skeletons. Y'all skeletons.
Well, I just have one last comment. Both of the experts that I spoke to said if you're doing a lease agreement, the first thing you ask for, that they provide the maintenance. And that's one of the reasons that we're spending so much because we didn't ask for that. And he said, if they walk away. That's from leasing.
Okay.
He said, because you could never come out ahead if you're leasing from them and paying for the lease, and then you gotta take care of all the maintenance.
Right. No, that makes sense. The one so the last thing I want to leave y'all with is the two paths forward, really three. One, you have a 90-day emergency contract, regardless of who y'all decide to go with for them. whoever y'all see best fit. Um, during that period of time, you have the ability to evaluate your equipment, see what it's gonna cost to fix it, decide that y'all want to put the money into it, fix the trucks the way that it needs to, and then to be able to put together a forecasted budget. To be able to see, we repair this equipment, that auger costs 38,000, I know, because I just have one done. The transmission costs 18,000, I know, because I just have one done. When you talk to these experts, it's gonna be really important for them to help you put together an estimated forecast of a fleet your age and what it's going to cost to continue to run. Just because you have it running today, 3 months from now, that might not be the case. So you have a route to go. You can go down the road of doing y'all's own garbage and own your own equipment. You have the ability to go down the route and negotiate with whoever rental trucks that y'all decide to go with, or y'all can outsource it. The only avenue that you have that gives you a guarantee this is what you're going to pay every single month is a contracted route. However y'all decide to do that, that's totally up to y'all and what y'all feel is best for y'all's districts and y'all's constituents. There is no unexpected expense. If our transmission goes out, we've got to fix it. We've got 4 more that's sitting there, and we're able to have backup equipment because we pick up over 50,000 residential homes. So we have to have that backup equipment to be able to provide that dependability. But whatever y'all decide with, a 90-day contract with somebody stops the bus, you can put the fire out and then figure out what path forward you want to go from there.
Madam President.
Just have one question. I had to ask, and I don't know if you've been asked this already, but, this rate that's in the proposal, that we received from you, is that negotiable?
For the 90 days, that's as low as we could possibly do.
You should.
I'm 100% positive. Because what we're doing is we're assuming we're going to have to, the same trucks essentially that y'all are leasing, we're gonna be in a similar situation. So the cost of it, there's gonna be employees that's gonna have to work overtime in order to be able to fulfill it. Because you can't bring in full-time employees for 90 days and then terminate them. So we're going to have, we have people called swing drivers. Those swing drivers are paid top notch because they can operate any piece of equipment that we have. Y'all would be getting the absolute best for 90 days. Y'all can test drive it, see whether y'all like it, and then go from there. I do recommend, just for transparency, I do recommend if y'all decide to do something long term, put out a request for a proposal. See who's interested. And then y'all can go with what y'all consider to be the lowest, best, and responsible bidder. What I'm not asking y'all to do is to give us long-term contract until Jesus comes. What I'm asking y'all to do is a 90-day agreement. And to be honest with you, the way that the RFPs work, you could do the RFPs during that 90 days.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, okay.
Just one question, what did you do with all those pipes that was over there?
I took them to SSAB. So where those come from is Berg Spiral Pipe. They build pipe. And so in their process of building pipe, they have to cut off the first 3 feet, the last 3 feet. They cut out a tab out of it and they have to be x-rayed. That has to be sent to SSAB. Well, SSAB was doing a shutdown. So in order for them to continue to go, the company that we hauled for asked us to find someone. They were brand new pipe. There was nothing ever in them, on them. But yeah, all of them get remelted back down and turned back into coils to use for pipe again, or for whatever metal they decide to use it for. It is a bunch of pipe though.
Okay, just real quick. What's the time limit on a brand new truck?
That's a loaded question. Sometimes one day. No, essentially, without issues, roughly about 24 months, about 2 years.
What do you say?
You start, so you get this is where an expert, like bringing in an expert that has a lot of experience with this type of equipment. It is unlike any other piece of equipment that the city of Prichard has. Not a dump truck, not a tractor, not a police car. The truck itself is great, but the body that's on the back costs as much as what the truck itself does. So what you're doing is you're asking the arm to go out and pick up and dump cylinders to go back and forth, an auger with gear mechanisms over and over. These trucks are picking up 1,000 stops a day. The water that goes on the inside of them, like there's no other piece of equipment that you have, not an airplane, not a train, not anything that works as hard as what a garbage truck does all day. So what happens is the wear parts on. We have been called, and I know it appears, and I'm not speaking for anybody because I don't know y'all's mechanic. I don't know what happens in public works. I'm not saying that it is or is not neglect. What I can say from my point of view is I have taken trucks to get worked on. There was this thing that was supposed to be done to the truck, but we were not aware that this thing needed to be done. There's chains that need to be tightened. Simple thing. But when you don't tighten the chains that are on the arms, it ends up costing $24,000. Well, unfortunately, you buy 4 of them at the same time. So now not only do you get 24,000 times 1, you get times 4 because you haven't done any of this preventive maintenance for the other 4 trucks that you had, the other 3 trucks.
Yeah, that's what my other question was coming from, the preventative, to prolong these, because it seems like these dump, trash trucks, that's what they're made for. Picking up trash, you know,
Right.
that swing on, that's what it's made for. But it seems like if you do your change oil and things of that nature, I don't try to
So
dumb it down, but
Right.
it's nothing preventative that can be.
there are some preventative stuff that can be done. And I would assume based off of the equipment, a lot of that preventative maintenance probably hasn't been done. There's a lot of stuff, and I can speak, y'all have 2019 model garbage trucks. I have one that's identical. It's a 2018 model. If I put them next to each other, you couldn't tell the difference between the two except for logo. There are things that have happened on that truck that I didn't know that needed to be done until you take it in and you get a $38,000 invoice. It's not as simple as just changing the oil. The oil helps the life of the truck, right? The oil helps in the transmission, plus in the transmission fluid. The rear end differentials need to be changed out about every 4 months. Transmission fluid, water filters, all these things. But the body itself is a beast. And so if you look, the city of Mobile, if I'm not mistaken, is on about a 24-month. There was a time where the company was trying to get them on a 13-month rotating schedule to where you have a note, it has value. The maintenance is almost not existent. About $1,200 a month will take care of it, not including the tires. That's gonna do your oil changes, your brakes, that type of stuff. At the end of the 13 months, you dump it and you're in a brand new one. That's a model. What's beneficial to municipalities, the reason why I do that is FET. It's a tax that I pay about $40,000 more for a truck than what y'all do. Y'all are exempt from having to pay FET tax. Over the course of 13, 14 months, I can't eat up that $40,000. I can't pay it off quick enough to be able to do that. But cities can. But the garbage, they're not intended to run forever. If you run rear loader garbage trucks that have people hanging off the back of them, they last about 10 years. The problem is the people that are on the back wear out. They don't last 7. So you're constantly at the mercy of trying. Did the people that work the back of the garbage truck show up today? Do we require 3 people or can we operate it with 1? So you're offsetting maintenance costs with labor. But the automated garbage trucks do not last. So we depreciate our equipment over a 7-year span. At the end of 7 years, it has 0 value. Is the way that we have it on our books.
I have just one final question. So there's no negotiation on a 90-day contract, but is there any negotiation if we did a year-long contract?
So I think what would have to be done is, I think that it would have to go out for a request for a proposal. You're gonna have multiple people that's gonna bid on it, and everybody's gonna be as competitive as they could possibly be. The things that are benefits to y'all, uh, you can, the verbiage of the contract matters. The verbiage of the RFP matters. How is a rate increase? Like, I have one contract that we document on the day the contract went into place. Then on the anniversary of the contract, if the fuel has went up by 25%, you can do a fuel surcharge. Some said you have to give your lowest and best, and it's going to be the same price across 5 years. You can get a set price for 5 years in order to do that. The flip side of it is I have to take into account, well, inflation's happened at 7% year over year. So the note, you're gonna get that same rate all the way across the board rather than it fluctuating based off fuel.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Great job.
Thank you.
So, Madam President, I would like to say I will summarize the research that I've done from the experts and get it to all the council members. There's some very valuable information that will help us make an informed decision. And I'll get that to you by next week.
That gets the mayor's report.
The finance committee,
There's a letter that, Councilman, Wood, Councilman Smith gave to the, all the council, and, we want that read. You have a copy of? It's part of the finance meeting.
It's finance report.
Councilman Roy Smith, District 5, City of Prichard, 216 East Prichard Avenue, Prichard, Alabama, May 27. Mrs. Kim, Finance Director, City of Prichard, Alabama, regarding demand for release of approved retainer investigation services, $5,500. Dear Mayor Carletta Davis and Mrs. Kim Wilson, I am writing in my official capacity as councilman for District 5, Vice President of the City of Prichard Council, to formally demand the immediate release of funds in the amount of $5,500, representing a duly authorized retainer for investigative services. This expenditure was presented, voted upon, and properly approved by the Prichard City Council in accordance with governing procedures. As such, the obligation is valid, enforceable, and requires timely execution by the Finance Department. Pursuant to Code of Alabama 1143C, which governs the authority and administrative functions of municipal government under the mayor-council system. Duly adopted council actions carry the force of law and must be executed by the appropriate administrative officers. The Finance Department is therefore obligated to disclose funds consistent with the council-approved appropriations and directives. As of May 27th at 11:55 a.m., the general fund account balance is $366,000. $954.54, which clearly demonstrates that sufficient funds are available to satisfy this obligation without delay. Failure to process this approved disbursement in a timely manner today, May 27, 2026, may constitute in failure to carry out our mandated municipal duties under the Alabama law and could subject the matter to further administrative or legal review. Accordingly, I request that $5,500 retainer be released immediately and that confirmation of payment processing be provided without delay. Please consider this correspondence as a formal demand for compliance with the lawful action of the city council. Should you require documentation supporting the council's vote or authorization, it can be provided upon request. However, such documentation does not negate the obligation to act on approved measures already in effect. Thank you for your immediate attention to this matter. I expect prompt resolution. Respectfully, Councilman Roy Smith, District 5, City of Prichard.
Madam President, first of all, let me say, that for us to get in council meeting and be blindsided, but I'm sorry, don't report, there's questions asked, and I'm trying to ask the question of this committee.
Right, but it's at my pleasure, and at this time, we're not, it was a part of her report, and they've read it. The email was sent out along with other emails that have been sent out previously requesting information or things to be turned over to the city council, and at this time, it still has not been done.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam President, what things would those be?
Congressman, we have sent several documents asking for things that may require an executive session. I won't name them, but I have sent several emails, even me personally, asking for documentation from the administration, and I have yet to receive resolutions. It's been a lot, but I'll gladly speak to you.
Okay, that letter was part of the finance thing, but at this time, I would like, Mr. Smith to, let us know what needs to be done at this time according to finance.
Well, that letter, as you all see, just sums up the walls that are being put up. And we're just tired of it. We're just trying to get to the bottom of this as fast as we can so we all can be on the same page and move forward. I'm not saying anything has been done illegally. And I'm not saying that, hey, you're doing something wrong. But I am saying, what are you doing? And so therefore, when you're putting up all these stops, hey, we have to wait for this. Hey, we have to wait for this. Hey, we have to wait for this. You are forcing our hand, and this is what comes of that. So I think just with the attorney, the next move is
Madam President,
what is it?
I'm sorry,
What is the next move? If those funds were not received, because I did give a date and a time for those funds to be received. I did not receive anything. I haven't received any correspondence or anything of that nature.
So once the council decides about the I'm so sorry, y'all. Screaming. Once the council decides by majority vote to take a next step, whether that be a legal next step or whatever the council's pleasure is, then I will act in accordance with that directive.
Madam President, may I make a statement? I do believe that I'm allowed to be a part of the discussion of your meeting. I can't vote in your meeting, but I can be a part of your discussion.
Ms. Mayor Davis, you are allowed to be a part of the discussion at the council pleasure.
Okay.
And at this time, the council did not vote to allow you to
I
speak.
didn't see where it said at the council pleasure. But,
This is the council.
Point of order 1143C86 allows the mayor to take part in the council meetings, and we have been over that several times, and she has the absolute right to speak.
We have been over it several times and it says that the mayor may participate in the meetings. She does not have a vote. She does not have a mandate. She does not have a mandated response to every discussion, conversation, or deliberation that this council makes.
No, but there was just a letter that I have not received that was read aloud that nobody was privy to ahead of time. Mayor was.
No, the mayor and the finance director.
And the mayor,
Thank you.
you know, I don't think I've interrupted. I don't-
Meeting, if they say, Madam President, that is a request to be allowed to speak. And if she denies that, then the meeting goes forward. And
I
that's for
think
any
that
council
was
meeting,
what-
that's for me as well.
I'm sorry, you done? Address?
I wasn't finished.
Okay,
You
go
can go ahead, I'm finished now.
The code section clearly says she is allowed to speak at the meetings. There's really no dispute about that. And I think that given what has just been brought up at the meeting, in all fairness, in the public interest, in the interest and respect of her office, she ought to be allowed to address that. I think that's elementary. That's just my opinion.
And before Attorney Donald speaks again, Attorney Briskman, I will let you know that an email went out on yesterday at 12:20. And the mayor was copied on this email. It was an email sent from Councilman Smith. I'm not sure if the mayor spoke with you about the email, but the email was.
Madam President, I did receive the email, but what I was trying to say is that I have also said, as a matter of record, in the council meeting, when this came before the council, that this expenditure was not budgeted for or appropriated, and that it was not certified by the finance director as per the Code of Alabama, and that the funds are not available. And now I don't know why that is not a thing, but that is a thing.
Apparently, Madam President, I speak. Apparently, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. Because whenever you want to spend something, you spend it. But no, you don't. And this is why we're asking for records.
You got that. You got.
Madam President, I would just like to say, Mr. Smith, you gave the letter and you asked what the next step, what is the next step from here, because we haven't gotten. And as far as the finance director certified bond, we had extravaganza up there. We come $43,000 or more. It was more than that in the whole. What those funds certified, and we want to talk about certifications, we need to know what those funds certified, because we was red. Nobody spoke about the red on that when the finance report was presented, but I did speak on it the month after. Now, this city was over $43,000, and it was not a clear report. There was not documentation for everything on there, but we want to talk about certification. Did the finance department certify that? Did you certify those funds for that extravaganza up there? It came over $43,000 in the whole
Order, Madam President, we're talking about the
certifications.
We're talking about the investigative. We're talking about the investigative.
Okay, what's the next step, attorney, that we go, cause we've been beating this dead horse for almost 3 or 4 months, and it's 6 months.
We also said, we presented to the finance director on Tuesday, where we're willing to take the retainer out of our discretionary fund. Because this investigation needs to happen. And that's how strongly we feel about it. And if you don't want to take it out of there, I will get a loan on one of my credit cards and get it, because I want the citizens to know what's being spent. And I think some of my colleagues feel the same way.
Madam President.
Because the next step, Madam President,
Step,
because I was asked this question, the next step would be court intervention. For a judge to direct the finance director to certify if she doesn't certify. And then for there to be a similar order regarding the funds being expended for this purpose, especially where the funds are the council members' discretionary money and other monies are being spent ad nauseum, for example, a trip to Selma, et cetera. So as you stated, the funds should be there. You should be able to use those funds for this investigation. It is permitted by law and you have it in your discretionary.
So, Madam President, can we make that the Madam Record? And also, do we need to make a motion?
Point of order, Madam President, and I'll make it very quick, but has the council considered the records that have been turned over since all this has started, specifically the April financial report, the other documents that were given for the previous months? And will this investigation investigate why there hasn't been a financial report for the past 2 years before the administration ever started? I'm unclear about that.
And I personally looked over some finance reports myself. There are several finance reports that we still haven't received, such as like the ADP report. We haven't received those. Contracts that we asked for, we haven't received those. So it's several things that we haven't received. But I trust me, I've looked over a lot of financial documents. And it's things that I can't disclose in this open meeting, but they did acknowledge some of the things that we received and some of the things that we did receive that I had to go find by myself.
I've just seen a rain of documents flowing from the mayor's office, just about every council's meeting, presentations on the extravaganza, et cetera. And I'm
Not
wondering,
full documents, attorney.
I'm-
Sorry.
and what I'm trying to say is, if there's some issue about this, I don't know that it's best to just talk about vagaries in public. Maybe we should have some specific conversations about what actually has not been relayed, because I've seen a lot of things that have been relayed. A lot of things which I don't know that there's the legal obligation on the mayor's office to relay, but has relayed anyway, just in the spirit of transparency. So I want the council to do their job. I'm not trying to get in the way of it, but I really don't know what y'all are talking about at this point. Actually,
Brisbane, I think that's unfortunate. The reams of papers that you've seen printed are literal printouts of transactions that reflect behavior that is questionable, spending that is questionable. The council has not received a coherent report that says what is still in the account versus what has been allowed for a particular line item. They haven't received that. If you look in the resolution that I drafted and that we have discussed, you know that this council has not received any contract from the mayor's office, period. We had a discussion about those documents being redacted. I still have not received them, not a single contract. The council and the taxpayers have a right to know how much people are being paid in this city. Taxpayers, we still haven't received it.
was there not, I'm sorry, you finished.
I wasn't done. I was just rolling down all the documents that were in that resolution. We experienced the Christmas, the presentation for the Christmas extravaganza. We asked for documentation from Sound Associates regarding the installation of temporary lights. We have not received that yet. This administration picks and chooses what it wants the taxpayers to know, and the council was not.
Well, I think we need to remind everybody what the finance report has to contain. And that's the revenues and expenditures for the past month of the city. That information has been provided for all the months that the mayor has been here, to the best of the finance department's ability. I've seen it most of them. All the checking accounts have the council members have access to at all times. I didn't interrupt you much. I didn't interrupt you. Okay. In the extravaganza, I can't imagine a horse being beat anymore. I mean, we've given presentation after presentation. But when will the council address the audit done by the state finance committee? Why aren't we talking about that?
We're not
We
talking
had a
about-
scathing investigation on this. I did, but since we're talking about all this out here, why isn't the council focused on those state mandated changes?
Because the public has the right to know that as well.
Let me address, you, Attorney Brisbane. We're not beating a dead horse when it comes to Sound Associates. we're dealing with the violation of state bid law. We're dealing with multiple violations of state law and ethics canons. And so we are taking the auditor's report seriously, but with the caveat that we know that the mayor selected selectively what she wanted those auditors to investigate. And it did not include any of those conspicuous spendings from the reports that we sent with regard to per diem for certain people employed with this city to go out of this municipality, which is against the law. All of that will be dealt with accordingly.
Madam
And so
President,
I agree. Well,
we do need transparency. The city council deserves to know if they have authority and oversight over finances and they don't know where the finances are or what money we have, then they are not operating in their full capacity and responsibility, because it does say that we can discuss an open gov contract that the mayor's office wants, but not muni code that the council needs and that these citizens deserve. Almost every municipality in Mobile County has their ordinances codified online.
That's right.
But we don't know what the law is in Prichard because we can't get it codified for $30,000, but we can sign any other contract that the mayor requests.
Madam
So
President,
in order for them to make
Madam
decisions
President,
done, in order for
when
them
are
to
you gonna
make
get done?
in order for them to make decisions
Is this,
about entering into contracts, even for the sanitation, they don't even know if the money is there. How can they make decisions?
Mayor, trying very hard. Would you please, because I mean, I want to say something too.
But it's not your meeting.
It's not.
This is the council.
It's already.
It's the council's meeting.
it's a public meeting.
It's the city council meeting.
It's the city meeting.
It's a council meeting.
It's the city.
We are in no out for this meeting. It's called the council meeting. You are welcome. This is our meeting.
The citizens
This is our meeting.
deserve transparency. The resolution that this council passed requesting certain documents have been refused. Period.
Madam
You
President.
can go to any other council meeting
Madam
and
President,
no
can I
one
be
behaves
recognized?
like our mayor. They say what they have to say and they sit down and they don't enter into discussion on every issue. I am very sorry. I have been to other council meetings.
And just to address Attorney Briskman with the state auditors, last week I made that audit a matter of record.
Madam President, may I speak? I don't know what the expectation is when my character and people are making accusation towards this administration for us to just sit here and allow the narrative to be shaped the way that it's being shaped against us when we are not doing the things that we're doing and then not be able to have a defense for what is being said. I don't know where that comes from. But at the end of the day, this administration has not done the things that we have been accused of doing. And I just think that it is a disservice to the community because none of this moves the community forward.
No.
None of this moves the community forward. And none of us were elected for that reason, to come in here and have dissension and arguments and mess every single Thursday.
Mayor Davis, I didn't say that you.
I
haven't
wasn't
accused you,
What's
Okay, we're gonna cut the conversation. I might ask for point of orders, but I'm gonna ask if permitted to have the finance director come up and speak because a lot of these concerns that they're asking for, we've asked for documents, but I would love to hear from Ms. Wilson if she's allowed to speak.
Please, she did not have a report. So.
She's not allowed. She's okay. So let's move forward with the bid committee.
Let's get some.
Madam President, I have one, just one thing I would like to say on the budget items. Budget items cannot be moved unless the council give approval for those removal. And there have been budget items moved because it was said that the money for the Juneteenth celebration was used at that extravaganza, and we did not give permission for that money to be removed. And now we are coming up on the extravaganza, the Juneteenth,
Where's the money?
and they got it down at the park. That Juneteenth is always held out here. So if we don't have money for it, is that why we went to the Chickasaw Park with it? We want it back, the citizen has to pull it back out here. I'm through, Madam President. And we need to move on with what we need to do to get this investigation started.
You ain't got nothing to hide. You don't mind being investigated. That's all I got to say.
Steve Committee,
No report at this time.
Works and Public Safety Committee,
We had a great meeting, last week, and the next meeting will be held on Monday, June the 1st at 10 a.m. in preparation of, hurricane season.
Ordinance Committee,
Yes, we'll be meeting on June 9th, which is a Tuesday at 12. Several things have come to mind or to come to our attention that we need ordinance on. One is, truck terminals. If you all notice, we have groups of trucks that are being parked at various sites, and they need to be regulated, and they need to pay business licenses, and, that revenue needs to come to the city. Also, we're still working on the ordinance for control of the property and the keys. So those are two of the things we'll be discussing at the council meeting, at the ordinance meeting.
Investigative Committee,
We had a meeting today. There was no update. Our next meeting is gonna be held on Thursday, June the 11th at 2:30 p.m. But subpoena started being issued today.
Prichard Historical Commission,
No report.
Prichard Library Board,
No report, I don't see it.
Prichard Waterwork and Sewer Board,
No report,
Special District Committee,
no report. I think, what did you reschedule the?
We have to reschedule the meeting.
Yeah.
Facility Use Committee,
No, right. It's,
No
it's not this on. We'll get with the ordinance,
That's the notice.
we have two public hearings today. The first public hearing is for Legacy 166 to discuss moving forward with project utilizing Langham Auditorium.
All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Oh, I make the motion that we open the public hearing for Legacy 166.
Is there a second?
So,
Councilwoman Williams,
yes,
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
yes.
Councilman Smith,
yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried. So at this time, this is a public hearing for Legacy 166 to discuss moving forward with the utilization of Langham Auditorium, which is here in District 3. Is there anyone that here that is opposed? If so, I'll ask that you stand on the left. And anyone that's for, I'll ask you stand on the right. If we don't have any here to oppose, is there a motion to approve for Legacy 166 to you move forward with the project utilizing the Langham Auditorium to declare it as a public purpose?
Yes, I make a motion that we allow Legacy 166 to move forward with utilizing the Langham Auditorium to bring the stepping out and his other businesses into the city of Prichard.
Is there a second?
Second,
Councilwoman Williams,
yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yeah.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Next item, public hearing for Eva Jones of Forever Young Spirits for 011 Lounge Retail Liquor Class Package, and it's 990 tobacco and alternative nicotine products. I'm nervous to come up here. This is something. Come back.
All right, so let me just, this is a public hearing for Ms. Eva Jones of Forever Young Spirits. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Make a motion that we open public hearing for.
Is there a second? Sorry, is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried. In just a minute, Ms. House, is the sign up sheet on the desk? There's a sign up sheet on the desk. I'm not sure if the audience, the citizens knew that, if anyone that was here for the public hearing, that they could sign up. So at this time, I'll ask if anyone that is opposing to stand to the left and anybody that's for to stand to the right.
Exactly, where is?
Get over.
Okay, this the location is here on Wilson Avenue. This is, let me pull it up.
Closed on this side.
It's not the Mart location, let me say that, because I know a lot of citizens was out for the Mart public hearing,
Some of.
and that's part of that.
Where you gonna be?
Right in Prichard Mile, directly in
Stay there.
and across from the club.
Can you tell me that address? So
314 out on 12 South.
it's 314, so it's right. It's in the middle of downtown.
It's not by. Don't matter.
It's not the Mart.
Don't matter.
I do wanna say,
No, I can't think of the place.
What side is, what side?
It's more, but I got to start somewhere.
man, all right, point of order,
Yes, ma'am.
point of order.
But I do plan on more. I just got to start somewhere.
Why you gotta say long? Gonna get smarter here. So, yeah, let me explain to you guys where this location is. There were originally two public hearings scheduled today. One was for a location that is across from Viger. That is gonna be rescheduled. They have a motion on, request to be rescheduled to June 11th. So this is not that location. I just wanna let the citizens be aware. This location is on Wilson Avenue and it's 314 Wilson Avenue, South Wilson Avenue.
Silly. It's not that I may be opposing or whatever. One thing I did agree with Ms. Williams, we're at that point now, even though we consider that downtown and it's our mile, we never said that we want to be New Orleans. Mobile said that. But constantly, it looked like we building Prichard to be another New Orleans.
Yeah.
I don't even like New Orleans. I have traveled there and didn't find it fine. But we are seeing what are you going to do when it comes to putting in an audience here that we can limit all this clubbing going on.
That's right.
Because we are always up here and giving somebody a license for liquor, for clubbing. But where is our good stuff? Where are we going to go shop at? Where are those individuals? It's bad enough we have a lot of business around here that not even register as business. They're running illegally. And I love it when Ms. Hale said she was going to bend down and find them in our area. So no, if that's the way you're going to make your money, but we got to realize we got another generation coming up, and all we teaching them is about parts.
But may I see?
Ask her what's
Understand what you're saying, and I'm not opposing, but every corner you go on, there's one business on every corner. So if you stop opposing the people that's trying to come in, whether I'm a teacher,
Ms. Johnson, I have to talk to us, just address us. I'm gonna let you get the mic and then just address the council. Thank you.
I don't oppose what you say. But the problem is, we only have one business on every corner. And if I'm trying to come in and create a business that is directly in the city, next to a strip club, next to a club, next to a cigar lounge, that's not saying that that's the only business that I'm going to limit myself to. That's just where I'm starting. I'm trying to bring revenue into the city, but bringing that revenue, I have to start somewhere. And starting there would allow me to do everything else. I grew up in the same era as when she grew up. And my mom had a business that's now next to the trees. My mom owned it. I used to play directly in this field and ride my bicycle next to the dentist office, Mrs. Smith. That's who all the children that we were around. Next to the ladies, directly across from the power company. This is where I grew up.
where my mom's businesses were when she first started. So yes, it might be a package store. That's what I'm starting with, but that's not where I plan on stopping. I don't plan on just stopping at a package store, but you got to allow somebody to come in and build some type of business before I can start buying other locations to build other stuff. Let me reflect and then you can go on. Reflecting what she's saying. That's only prove just what we begin to feel like. If you wanna have a business in Prichard, make sure you got alcohol and make sure you got tobacco. And you would get in there. We don't wanna keep on with that reputation.
Okay, and this, so that everybody knows if you're speaking, if you assign the form that's on the table. It's, the form is whether you oppose or are you for, it's a public hearing form that's.
So we're confused. We was asked to sign paper when we was in here. We didn't know there was one that was included.
No,
So we.
I said if you stand to the left, you oppose, if you stand to the right, you're for.
You also said we are signing the paper. We signed papers already about this liquor and also about something else.
There, it should be two forms out there for you to sign, one if you're for it and one if you're against it. It should be two public hearing forms that's on the desk.
Are we sometimes,
They're not handing you the correct one.
but I'm correcting you. They didn't understand themselves, so they just gave us the form to just sign. Send it for the.
Well, let's get that corrected, and we'll get the form out. Okay. To my left, if you are for it, you're to the right. If you were against it, you're to my left. My apology. That's correct. To my left. If you were against.
If you are
to
against
my
it,
right,
come over here.
you're for it.
You are against. I already signed a paper about this. So are we gonna get that corrected? 'Cause
Yes, we'll get it corrected. No worries. Okay, so point of order. So we've had one speaker, we will allow two more to speak on the opposing side. And then with your name and address will need to be listed. And then on the side that's for, will allow you to speak and it. You have the time limited to 2 minutes. I'm sorry, so out of the line, if you have two more that can speak. And. Anybody else? We have two more that can speak on this side and then and it's for 2 minutes and I'll just ask Miss. And Joe, just. That's fine. Did you already signed in?
I don't know, I signed to this, but I.
Then I have to say.
Point of order, I'm sorry, so that she can speak, guys.
I heard the lady say she had to start somewhere. That's what I was listening to. Why can't we start with something? Why can't we start with family oriented stuff? Why couldn't you open a peanut shop? Why you couldn't open an ice cream park? Whereas I could bring my grandchildren and they can learn about something in the city of Prichard that's decent. We already don't have adequate police. And we constantly trying to bring drug finales, because when you open up them little stores, you got kids coming in. I used to be a council person. And one thing I know, and I got a clipping of it out the paper. And it said, if it don't say beer and wine in the city of Prichard, it don't say. That's a sad thing for us. And when we sit up here and let these people come in, they ain't going on the other side with their mess. They're not going over there and sit it up over there to destroy those people's children.
Cause you know we don't have what we supposed to have over here. And you gonna bring it in here to help destroy our children's lives.
Ms. Young, if you would speak to the council though, instead of directly to the young lady, that's not.
So she's the one that bring it here, really, I apologize. But I just get so full about this. When I was a council person, I didn't win the next time. I didn't win. Because one reason why I didn't win, you were not gonna open up no beer and wine adjacent to a school, adjacent to somebody's house. You were not gonna do that. Cause all they do is go and get beer. And then they put the keg in the middle of the floor and they sell beer out of it for 50 cents or $1. And all they do is walk all day long up and down the street, throwing down paper and cans everywhere. Urinating all around the faces, just standing there just urinating. So at the end of the day, if you came to me and you talking about doing that, it was no. And bless his heart, he's gone. That's Ron Davis. Oh, he was the mayor when I was here. And what he was telling, you know one thing, you can go, but she ain't gonna let you have it. And it was true. Because I respect my neighbors. I respect the neighbors. And this is not just District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the city of Prichard. It don't separate when somebody say you stay in Prichard. Oh, they don't say, oh, District 1 and District 5 or District this is a great place to live. When you say Prichard, it's not a good place to live. And we constantly letting the voters in. So I would say, no, 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 no. Thank you for my time.
All right, and this will be the last speaker we will have for this on this. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all, first of all, for allowing me this 2 minutes to speak. I have no problems whatsoever having new businesses coming into the city. The city of Prichard needs businesses. However, it is imperative that we think about our next generation. We have 8 schools in the city of Prichard. I am a retired high school and college instructor of 33 and a half years high school, 15 years simultaneously college. We had 1 library. The other library was being worked on. It is no longer being able to be open. When our students need to go to the library, they've got to come downtown. Once they get downtown, you are exposing our children to alcohol, drugs, everything. And I'm not saying that that would be the only place, but I'm like the other young lady. Please, let's put some positive things down at first. We've got to think of the surrounding areas, not just that one street or that one location where that business will be. We've got to think of the surrounding areas that our children will be exposed to. And if we don't look after people who look like us with what's going on in this country today, where the education department on the national level has been dissolved, we are not doing our job. Also, many of our students do not have facilities at home. They don't have internet. They don't have other things that they need. They don't have laptops. So they have to go to the library in order to do their assignments. Which means they're going to have to walk or get someone to drop them off. They're going to be exposed to things we do not want them exposed to. Again, I have no problem with bringing in businesses, but this is the wrong location. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you. All right, and those on this side, we will again allow 3 people to.
I think from my standpoint, I hear everything everyone is saying about positive environments or positive things for the youth. I totally agree. But if you want a cookie shop, why don't you start a business as a cookie shop? If you want an ice cream parlor, why don't you start a business as an ice cream parlor? You can't take what she wants to do with her money and her resources to build what you want. Because if you want to see it, you'll get out there and do it yourself. I think we as people, we often get lost in what's around us. Yes, the club is there, the strip club, whatever. But it's a piece of property and she wants to utilize it. Don't knock her down from what she wants because of what you want as an individual. And if we would, yes, give back to the community, get those libraries back open so that children can use those libraries. I'm a foster parent. So I agree wholeheartedly. I don't want my team to be open to the thought of a date or a Cinderella or whatever the case may be. But that's her business. You can't stop her from doing what she wants to do because you don't want to do it. It's a city. Why can't we just give to each other? You don't have to utilize her facility, but at least grant her the opportunity to get the building to do what she wants to do. If it lasts, it lasts. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Oh well. But don't just knock her at her feet because you don't want to steal the liquor store or a little club or whatever the case is. Again, if they want ice cream and cookies, we didn't stop racetrack. They sell beer, wine, tobacco, different. No. So as a citizen, you pick and you choose your battles. And this battle is not theirs to choose. It's hers. Because it's her business. And I'll give.
Thank
Just to kind of piggyback off of what he said, I understand what they're saying, but I think we as people, we can't get caught up in the
And I'm
negative.
sorry, so would you give us your name? I'm sorry.
I'm James Jones. I would be Eva's brother, and I'm not speaking on behalf of just my sister. I'm just looking at the business aspect of it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think as people, we get caught up in too busy looking at the negative outcome of something, and you're getting off track with the fact that the key word is business. That's what she's trying to do is bring more business to the city. So with that being said, if you want to just stick to what they're basing on alcohol is something that's pretty much legalized in every state you go to. Some people drink it, some people don't. But if I had to ask an opinion of majority of them people who's speaking against it, I'm pretty sure at some point in their life they've taken a sip of alcohol. So with that being said, I feel like you can't get caught up in saying what something's going to come to the city, the negative outcome it'll do. Just stay focused on the revenue that's trying to be brought to the city. My opinion, you know, and I just wanted to pretty much say that, I feel like another business period will help what the city of Prichard has been doing and continue to try to go forward to moving and doing. I don't think that we can't let people's opinion, they have every right, natives that feel the way they feel, but just stay focused on the topic, the business, the revenue, not the negative outcome of what this business or that business can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. I am here in support of,
I'm sorry. Could you give us your name?
it's Courtney Washington. I am here in full support of my friend, Miss Eva Jones Anderson, with her request to open a package store in the great city of Prichard. Ms. Anderson was raised here right in Prichard. This city shaped her, and she has always wanted to invest back into the place that invested in her. In my professional reference, I shared that she has consistently demonstrated integrity, reliability, and a strong work ethic, and that she brings a genuine desire to contribute positively to the community. One of the concerns that was raised was about safety, and we understand that. Ms. Anderson is committed to running this business with the highest standards of compliance. She will strictly enforce a 21-year or older entry, maintain proper identification, and ensure that the store operates in full alignment with Prichard's business expectations for responsible business conduct. The economic benefits remain significant. This store will generate new sales tax revenue for Prichard and create local jobs and keep consumer spending inside of our community rather than following it to surrounding cities. By what truly sets Ms. Anderson apart is her long-term vision. The package store is only the first step. Her ultimate goal is to reinvest her earnings into creating a nonprofit organization and developing low-income housing for mothers right here in Prichard. She wants to build stability, opportunity, and support for the families who need it most. I believe in my friend's dream and I support her 100%. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
Okay.
Of the hearing? I'm sorry, no, it's just 3 and 3 on each side.
I have a question for Ms. Eva. Let me ask you something. They keep saying package store. And that's like the ABC store. You go pick it up and you leave. But I'm looking at your thing, you got lounge on here. So
That's what the city, but this is the package store. You just pick it up and leave. There's no staying around or anything to that nature. Classification from the agency. No, it's not. In and out.
Madam President. Like everybody said, you have both sides of this. And I know right now, you feel beat down and the odds are against you, but if you could gather yourself and speak to, try to see how you can help the community, because this is, like I said, this alcohol base, none of that other, but at the same time, you can't tell as a businessman, no one can tell me what business to go into, how to spend my money, how to effectively run my business. And I don't believe they should tell you the same. But at the same time, you have to look at the state of Prichard right now. You have to see where we're at right now and where we're trying to go. And as part of my campaign, I always say, be a part of the change that you want to see. And so if you want to see better things, what type of change, how will you be part of that?
Well, the revenue that my store would bring will not only help Prichard as far as financially, because I still have to pay taxes. I still have to not only make sure that everything is lined up with the expectations of the city, but that's just not where I plan on stopping. That's just one of the businesses that I intend to break. Yes, it is a package store, but what is it around? I'm not down the street from the school like the other package store. I'm not across the street from the school like the package store that's trying to be good. I'm all the way down in Prichard Mall, where other entertainment and businesses are. One is directly behind, one is in front.
No, I'm not asking. I know exactly where you're located. I'm asking, how can you counter effect the negative? You see what I'm saying?
Because some of the revenue that I intend to bring to the city, I plan on using it for the city. I'm not just making money and then leaving the city. I grew up here. So I don't want to just see abandoned buildings, one business on every 8 blocks. My intent is to buy the rest of the buildings that are down from me, using the revenue from my business, not just for a package store, but my intent is because my niece is a chef. I want to bring a restaurant. There's some other things my mom used to own. Beauty supply. I want to buy a beauty supply store. I want a beauty supply store. Okay. I said my intent is not just to start. That's just one business that I can first start.
are you leasing that building, what you're in, or do you own it?
I'm leasing the building and I'm trying to buy the building that's down front of which used to be the old daycare center that's currently run down. And I have put in a bid to buy the beauty supply store, but I haven't heard anything back because I don't know about California attorney on the city. So I've already contacted them and we're trying to buy that as well. So I had
what I created was a 3-year plan and to try to acquire those buildings and revamp what it looked like and turn it into other businesses. But yes, I am starting with the package store because that's something Prichard don't have that's right in the middle of the city. It is. People do drink alcohol, but some people do not. They can stop in there and buy wine. They can stop in there and buy Coke if they choose to. Any type of revenue that they want to help bring towards the city versus opposing it, I'm not against it. But I don't plan on using the money from it just to put alcohol back on the streets or say, okay, someone is, utilizing tobacco. Those are things that some people actually use the revenue from it. I plan on doing more for the city because the city needs it.
Madam President, I wanted to bring up the fact that I did some research after she presented before about the vapes, and we had talked about maybe Prichard creating an ordinance around the age. Representative Drummond has already proposed that for the state, and it did pass. So the age, okay. So I wanted to make sure that I did bring that back before you, that is already, it has been raised to 21 already. Is there a motion to close the hearing at this time?
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hay.
Yes, the public hearing has now been closed. At this time, is there a motion to approve? Request Ms. Eva Jones, of Forever Young Spirits.
I didn't buy it.
If there is not a motion on the floor to approve at this time. Motion will carry. So at this time, there has not been a motion to approve Ms. Jones, for the license to be issued. Okay. And motion to approve it this time. Sorry, so. Oh, no, yeah, I was gonna say, you do have the right to appeal, but at this time, there was no motion to approve. Thank you.
Request to reschedule Cyber Food Mart public hearing to January the 11th at 4 p.m.
This was a request to reschedule the Viber Food Mart public hearing from today to June 11th, 2026 at 4 p.m. They didn't have proper signage posted for the public hearing to continue today. So is there a motion to reschedule the public hearing for Viber Food Mart until June 11th, 2026 at 4 p.m. at this time?
Make a motion to reschedule by the Food Mart public hearing to June 11th, 2026 at 4 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam President, yes. Just for a matter of record, I want to also remind the council that that is the day that we have the public hearing for the data center. And that is going to start at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's not.
And I know that's probably going to be a very big public hearing. I think that'll be a great day for it because we'll have a lot of citizens that'll be out for that event as well. Hopefully we can start on time and we can go ahead and get that taken care of.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Proposed resolution authorizing council members to sign investigative agreement.
This is a resolution that was in the packet, authorizing the council members to sign an investigative agreement. Is there a motion to adopt the proposed resolution authorizing the council member to sign the investigative?
Yes, I make a motion that we authorize our vice president to sign this resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Abstain.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yeah, abstain. Motion carried.
Appointment to the insurance committee and to schedule a meeting to discuss employee benefits.
This is an appointment, to doing a committee for our insurance, for the health insurance benefits for the employees here for the city of Prichard. So at this time, I'm not sure, do we have the date that the insurance needs to be updated by? I know we received an email earlier this week, a response from finance department that we were in. I think it was that unload hill and some thought it was actually a paper that she just said,
Madam President,
yes.
I was inquiring about this committee because this is the first that I've heard of this committee.
About-
Yeah, the insurance committee. I know that the HR director and the finance director has been working on the insurance. But is there an ordinance for this committee?
It's an ad hoc committee for she.
Oh, okay. It's a committee underneath the council.
Yes.
It's always been a committee, it's the council members on the insurance committee. To discuss the employee insurance, that way the department heads can go back and give the employees in their department the information that was discussed in the. So that's how it's, this.
So when we're doing second.
Because it's binding in the contract has to come before the council, and the council has to approve and adopt that contract and authorize it via resolution.
Alright, so for the committee, I'll appoint myself, and I would like to ask all council that is available and would like to be a part of the committee, to be a part of the committee as well.
Madam President, I'm available, and this is something that I've been working on myself, for the employees and the police and fire department. So I do have some.
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure if Miss Wilson can answer or not, when it will be, when the new insurance will go into effect. I know it's only around October and previous,
Our renewal is July 1st, so we need to have everything completed no later than June 15th.
that being said, let's look at doing a meeting next week. We have the Public Works and Public Safety Committee meeting on Monday, July 1st. We'll do it right after the meeting, so we'll say at 11.
Concerns of Councilwoman Hale regarding special events budget,
Please skip B.
appointment of council member to the planning commission.
So from my understanding, Ms. Noble was the last person or the last council to serve on the planning commission. So is there a motion to reappoint Ms. Norwood to the planning commission committee?
I offer motion to reappoint Ms. Norwood if she would accept it. To the planning commission.
Yes, I'll accept it. I went to the Sharp City, convention that they had and, got to value. So yes, I'd be honored to accept.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Concerns of Councilwoman Hale regarding special events budget.
So this is an agenda item that I have in regards to a special events budget. I know we have a couple events that is coming up, which includes Juneteenth, 4th of July. Looking over the budget, it looks like for city events for the last budget adopted, which would have been 23-24, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like the total was 60,000 is what was budgeted for all events. Now, I know that recently there was some funds giving towards the Christmas extravaganza. If I'm not mistaken, it was 5,000 and 5,000 split between that and Juneteenth, but to be spent on the 20th. So my request is to find out from the finance director what amount we have left in the budget for events for the year.
I have not moved any monies as of yet. So right now, that's except for, the, what's stated in the budget is there.
So for the Juneteenth, we still have 30,000 available.
Cause I have not moved any fundings yet.
Well, Madam President, what about the funding that was told us that was used for the Christmas extravaganza? How much of that was used out of those funds?
Madam President. May I, just found,
Can you answer that question?
Right, can I, Ms. Kim, can you, I'm sorry, can we answer this question first about money that was for the extravaganza? That was out of, was it out of the 60,000, or you gonna answer it, Mayor? You want to answer, go right ahead.
so the funds that, Councilman Williams is referring to were funds that were not spent in the last fiscal year. What you're asking about now, I believe, is the budget for this fiscal year.
Madam President, there were no funds in there for the last.
That's,
Yes, it is true. You was not here because if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Smith had to come in and he did a stage for us because we didn't have no funds in that account left over. So that was a zero budget for that Juneteenth.
that is not what I was told by the finance director when I got.
Mr. Smith, did you come in and help us with that Juneteenth? Cause there were no funds there.
Yes, I was told that there was no funds to be placed or used for the Juneteenth. So therefore, I stepped in and did what I could.
Okay, so I guess just to piggyback, what you're saying, Mayor Davis, is the funds rolled over from last year?
What is that? What I was told was that there was only $17,000 used, correct, from
That was all that was used, but as of October 1st, the budget started over.
right.
So therefore, $30,000 was back on that line item beginning October 1st.
Okay, 30,000 for Juneteenth.
For this
For this
fiscal
year,
year.
right? Yes, correct, next, for, in the next months.
So how
Okay.
much, so it was 30,000 for the Juneteenth? Okay, so how much of that was used for the Christmas extravaganza?
That was, I think what she's saying, Miss Annie, is that well, yeah, because you're right, December is, that was a part of this budget, so.
Yeah,
But I
So
have
how-
not moved anyone.
so you didn't move nothing. So who moved it? The mayor said she used Juneteenth money. So who moving?
It has not been moved, the amount has not been determined to what the offset would be.
So we still have $30,000 for Juneteenth, what I'm hearing.
That's on that budget. That's what's on the budget.
So we don't need to go down to Chickasaw Park where you don't have to pay nothing and the citizens want it out here.
Madam President, that is not the reason why we are having the event at Chickasaw Park. So it had nothing to do with the budget. In fact, we got an additional $5,000 from our council. And we plan on trying to get sponsorship dollars. However, if you are looking for special event budget, I'm trying to understand which special events are you referring to?
I'm just asking for the actual special events that we host throughout the city. Like, oh, when I'm looking at my line item, it says $60,000 for the year. So I just wanted a total of what we have for the year. Cause again, it says $30,000 for Juneteenth, so I'm thinking we can put on a really good Juneteenth celebration. But if we don't have the $30,000, then I'm asked.
No, we will put on a very good Juneteenth, great Juneteenth event. However, if we don't have to spend the $30,000 to do that, we will not. That
Well, of
we
course, that
right.
is-
So just because the money is saying that is there budgeted, I'm not trying to spend
Right,
that money if we don't have to.
right, and I understand that, but I'm asking for actual numbers. So if it's saying that we have $60,000, I'm asking if we actually have a legitimate $60,000 in an account somewhere that's ready to be spent on these events.
So all of your budgeted items, money is not sitting in an account for your budgeted items. That's not how it works, right? But your budget allows for that amount for that particular line item. So in your line item, you have $60,000 for event.
Right, but if $30,000 is for Juneteenth, and Juneteenth is in less than 3 weeks, my question is $30,000 there? If it's not there, what I'm asking then, on what day prior to Juneteenth will the funds be there?
Our money comes in at different times.
That's correct, I understand.
So-
Mayor Davis, I understand.
Right,
It's
so
how
I
it
can't
is, but-
tell you what day it will be in the account.
Right, so what I'm asking is then for a total of what we currently have as of today, May the 28th, that's in the account that's available to be spent on the Juneteenth function.
Okay.
Whether we spend it all or not, I'm just asking for what an actual number is for that event.
Okay, so again, all of the funds go into the general fund account. There is not an account that's set aside for Juneteenth that money goes over into. Your budget line item says 30,000, but there is not a special bank account that we can go to and say that $30,000 for Juneteenth is in, because this is the Juneteenth account. You see what I'm saying?
Right, I do understand that, but when we set up all the additional accounts were supposed to be separated by department.
Not department.
Not department,
Yes.
so nothing, but so you're saying city events is just in the general fund?
Right. Is that money not in the general fund? Am I saying? correct?
That money is in the general fund. Yes, I have set up a special projects account, but that's what I asked council. So when you have special projects, that you can designate that money to be moved over to that account. But there is no money that's just sitting there. It's a part of your operational budget.
Madam President. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do we not have a moratorium on spending except for essential spending, which includes payroll, utilities, and so forth? Granted, I'm all for Juneteenth, but when you have a tight budget, that's the first thing that has to go, partying. Sorry.
There is a spending freeze on I'm trying to think of a way to put it that would make sense. There is a spending freeze that anything that's above $10,000 has to come before the council. That is the way the freeze is set up. So if we're planning an event that is budgeted, but these expenditures are going to be above the $10,000, then yes, it will, according to that resolution that we signed, it will have to come before us. However, I know we did receive funds in the amount of 5,000, I think, a little over 5,000 to be used towards Juneteenth. But that's why I'm trying to get clarification here today on exactly what is available to be spent on the Juneteenth. And then again, of course, it needs to come before council. So basically, C and D went together.
Concerns of council on Hill regarding building damage.
There, I know there was with all the rain and weather, we've experienced some building damage. I actually seen some here myself in the room, conference room behind us where we had looked like pieces of, I don't know if it was sheetrock or what it was that was on the floor. And then I noticed it was buckets of water throughout the building. So I did have some concerns of whether or not what's been reported, if that council can get a report of all the current damage that was looked at around the city so that we can look at where we move forward with the Public Works and Public Safety Committee meeting on Monday. Getting things out of the insurance company and what measures we're taking to secure whatever areas that are damaged and what we need to do.
Concerns of Councilwoman Hale regarding health and safety conditions in municipal buildings.
That one again, it goes with the last one, but there are several health and safety concerns. On this past week, we had an employee that, and even in weeks passing, that has went to the doctor with issues with allergies, dust mites, and things of that nature. An email was sent out to administration asking what type of safety and health precautions were in effect. I noticed that there are some, looks like humidifiers and things that are throughout the building. But we did receive an email that brought some concerns to me in regards to possible mold throughout the building. So I did have questions for administration.
To what, address what, the mall?
Yes, have we, I mean, what do we have in place? Because council had been advised of anything, so I just wanted to know with the administration and what steps or what actions were taken if we're finding that there is mold that's in the building from the rain, or if it's been here, and I guess the rain is causing issues with mold, my understanding throughout the auditorium.
Yes, so we did have Pro come out, and because of all the rain, they can't evaluate for like mold or anything right now. However, when we first got into office, I had mold identified in my office. I think we told the council that, and we ended up having that remediated. But I think as far as, thank you, Chief. I think as far as the dust mites, and is that what you were asking me about earlier?
Well, that and also with the remediation, I know that in the email you stated that, we didn't have any funds available, capital improvement.
Right.
But I know we recently received a check, so that was another question with the.
Well, yeah, we talked about that check last week with the request that you had put on for last week.
Right.
Okay, so that's probably gonna eat that hundred and, I think it's a
70
something $1,000 up. But now if there is mold or, asbestos or whatever that's found, then that's gonna far exceed any of our you know, capital improvement money anyway, so we would probably have to file that with the insurance. And have them to, come out and do, the assessment and then, say whether or not they're gonna pay for it. But my recommendation again, and I think I sent this in the email, is for all employees to avoid, especially if they have gone to the doctor and been diagnosed with allergies towards certain things, to avoid those areas if possible. I know the vault was a concern in the clerk's office, so I would recommend that whatever is needed out of that vault, we can have Public Works to come over and move it over into the empty office that's over in the clerk's office, and then have them go in there instead of going into the vault, so that they avoid that area. I also put some N95 masks in the clerk's office, so that anytime they have to go in the vault, that they could put that mask on. But we are going to have the buildings assessed by Serve Pro after all the rain stops.
Okay.
Madam
Just
President.
forward that report to them.
And I definitely would like to have my office. That's one of the reasons why I do not stay in my office, because I feel as though I'm a chronic asthmatic myself, and I'm constantly leaving with headaches and having to use my Adderall. So I would like my office also checked to see.
Correspondence from Councilman Smith regarding honorary street sign.
Yes. You come on. Everybody knows this man right here.
I'm not sure.
State your name, please.
Please state your name for the record, sir.
Well, good evening. I'm Jimmy Gardner. I live and reside at 3605 Block Road here in the great city of Prichard. And let me just first say I'm delighted to be here as a citizen of this city, and certainly I want to thank all of you for your hard work. You got a hard work ahead of you, and I know that you do it from my own personal experience. So thank you for what you do. Councilman Smith, I'll be brief because as you all know, if you can recall, Bucks shoe shine that's located on Highway 45. Well, Mr. Joe Hornbuckler, you know, since passed, and of course they were a pillar in this community for many, many years. And so the family asked me to stand on their behalf and ask this council if they would make Daniel Avenue an honorary street in behalf of that father, of Mr. Joanne Hornbuckler. And I'm standing before you right now on behalf of that family, the Hornbuckler family, and my good friend, brother Don Hornbuckler, to ask you if you would honor that family request for that family legacy from the old Buck shoe shine place, that we will allow that Daniel Avenue to be honorary name in that family's name.
Madam President, I know this is not in my district, but I was just reaching out, and I know we all help each other at times, and so.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
I thought the books was up here. Oh no, Willis. I'm thinking about something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll take that back.
So, you know, after council make that decision, the family is waiting. Matter of fact, I've already had a text already to ask how they.
Tell them it was
Excited about being able to tell them that council did make such an honoring that family legacy.
Madam President, I'll make a motion to approve the changing of Daniels Avenue to become honorary, to place an honorary street sign for Joe N. Humble Avenue. Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman
Yes.
Humble,
Yes.
Reverend.
Yes. Christian churches quite here.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood.
Yes.
Councilwoman Box Bettis.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank
God
you
bless
for
you all.
coming out.
Thank you.
Concerns of Councilwoman Williams regarding opening of splash pad and museum.
On the splash pad, I've had several people, come and ask about the splash pad opening. And I, put it on there so I can have some information to give them. I noticed throughout the other cities, theirs are open and they are using them. And the children are out of school as of right now, and that's usually an activity we usually have open for them. So do we know when that splash pad could be?
Then we had it take, we were supposed to have it tested this week, but the rain is out.
This will next week, are we doing it?
Whenever the weather permits, then we'll have to get out there and,
Are we testing it to make sure it's working? I'm sorry, now.
yes.
Do we have someone that normally runs that?
Yes.
So we'll just follow up next week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just let them know that I did present it and hopefully we can hear something within a week.
Okay. We'll definitely make a public announcement.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And on the museum up there, I was asking cause I don't that museum it was a lot of work put into that museum, and the murals in there are just beautiful and it's closed up every day. And I would just hate for that building to start looking at other buildings that's really closed up. And not only that, but the artist that did all that work up there, he's been very vocal about that building being closed. And a lot of people haven't seen the building, but it's beautiful murals in there. And it's some of the most beautiful work that I've seen Apollo do. So I was just wondering, what can we do to get that building functional, open, and because it would have been a good place for the children to come for the summer and learn about Black history and put different programs in there because we don't have anything here for them to do here. So that was my question. Uh, what can we do to get this building functional, open, because it was open and somebody, I think they was using it up there as an office. So it was open to the public. It was people up there, but it's nobody up there and it's closed right now. You said what building?
What, are you talking about the museum we were at the other day?
Yeah, the museum where you was at the other day. Went last Wednesday to be exact. Mhm.
Sorry, so what are we asking?
We're asking, can that building be open?
No, not, well, let me say this, I want to reopen the building. In the last budget that was passed, there was no actual dedicated funding for the museum. And these are the things that we want to look at when we're getting ready to do our budget, because when we open up things, we want to be able to sustain it. So what I understood, and again, I wasn't here, was there were people that were working 8 to 5 or 7 to 4 in that building. Well, people work from during those times, and it wasn't open on the weekends. And there was no advertising, there's no signage and stuff on the front side. I would like to see if we could put together a plan to really open the museum up right, because it does deserve, the work that's been done there does deserve to be exposed to our community. And so I would really like to plan and make sure we have the proper funding going forward to sustain that building being open, and that we could have different exhibits that come through there and different events, maybe sipping paints and things of that nature there. But you have to have dedicated staff and you have to have the money to pay them. And that was never in the budget. So
But there were people up there working, the building was open, so I don't know, what, exactly
the people
what
that were
happened
working,
that was working up there I think it was 2 people up there.
yeah, yes, there were people, but there was no museum budget. they were not working for the museum. That was not that they were working in in different departments. So that's why it's not open right now. And then there's nothing in there except for exhibits. Now I do want to be clear that the building, and I think it's on the agenda, the building is open for rent. If people want to rent it for an event, we do have Blunt right now alumni that is using the building. I think the councilman used the building for events or for meetings. Have you been in there? You haven't done anything? Okay. But it is open to be rented right now. So if anyone wants to do that, then they can.
So with all of the exhibits gone, do we have a way of getting exhibits? In a process of getting it open and having it function as a real museum, we don't have any of unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see whatever artifacts that were in there before they were removed, but do we have a way of getting some other artifacts to be put in as a part of a process? And I guess the next question would be, is this something that could be assigned to one of our standing committees to help work with the administration to get it open and establish a budget of what it would take to run it?
Well, Madam President, since that wasn't, I did try to take that on, early in this, and if I, try to get it open and keep it open and, we have plenty of things that can be going on and with the summer coming up, you have summer programs that can be, just in the resolution, it explains what that building was meant to be used for, and so, it is for the arts. You have so many people here in Prichard that do not have a place to go for dance, for painting, for music, or even just meetings in their self in their entirety. So, like I said, these things it can, fund itself. We just have to promote it correctly, and just put it out there, and also give it some curb appeal. You don't you pass by that place, you don't even know where it's at or what it is. And we have a digital sign, digital board up in there. That is a great informational board and let people know, hey, what's going on in the city. That's not even hanging up. So it's only a matter of time for it to just sit there and break down and, moving it from right here, moving it from right there. You're gonna tear it up. And so that's was one of my things that I fought for early in my term. And like I said, it was all about who had the key, who did not have the key, who, trespassed and this and that. And so that's where we at.
Madam President, make one for to administration, perhaps our grant writers could look for some funding to help assist
I'll do that.
with doing that. Yeah, yeah, it's a grant. And Commissioner Lovegood loves culture and heritage, and maybe that may be some low hanging fruit to get some dollars initially to like the signage and stuff like that. And
We just need to sign it up.
we have a sign for the outside already. For outside, okay, it's digital.
Yeah, I'll sign it to the grants too.
Concerns of Councilwoman Williams regarding Muni Code.
This is back on here. We've had this on here several times and we've done nothing with it so far. With all these ordinances that we are putting together, we still need a way to get this. And it needs to go through Moon Code so we can put it on the website. So when you need to know about ordinance, we will have them there. So I need to know it has been voted in and everything. And I was just wanting to know when could that be put into effect.
Because I think we were waiting on the financial director to give us a.
I have never seen your contract, but everybody's asking about it. The software line where that will come out of. With us using a 2-year budget, that's all your line items based of. You,
Well, we're gonna need an itemized.
but I need
item
to know,
today, but
I need to know, I need to see your the contract even on Muni calls.
Madam President, I would also like to add to that I do have on the agenda, we had talked about trying to get together to discuss open gov, which would incorporate Muni code. And so the two could be built out and integrated at the same time. But that's on the agenda for later if you all wanna move it now to discuss that part.
You said mixing the two together.
Well, it's integrated. The two softwares are integrated.
Was that the gov that was $300 and some $1,000?
That's
And integrated with a $24,000?
well, it's different. They're different softwares that integrate into each other.
No, this just don't make no sense. None whatsoever.
Well,
We need Muni code here for those ordinance, and I'm talking to the council. We need this Muni code in here. We beat this last administration. We beating it still. We need it in here, and it don't need to be integrated with nothing else. We need it in here so because people calling asking about different ordinances and they can't get them. And that website need to be looked at because it's not functioning right. You go on there, they can't get nothing. And I went on there to be for sure. You pull up anything on there, go back to the same thing. None of the council is on there where they can be reached, information, nothing. So I don't know who's running it. But I'm still talking about Municode, but I just thought about that. They can't get on the website for anything.
what I'm saying is that open go with.
Not no $300 and some $1,000.
Okay.
$300 and some $1,000 integrating that with something with 24.
No, that's what was let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain to you all. All of you, okay.
Y'all always trying to twist some around. It just don't make no sense. We just got CountMate. What's wrong with that? We ain't even had it a year. We ain't bought all the parts to CountMate yet.
Can
You got
I think we presented to the Madam President.
We ain't buying nothing no $300 some $1,000.
Madam President, I think that we
just don't even make no sense.
it's not $300 some $1,000, but
Yes, it is. You brought it to us. That's what was on there. Okay. It's spending money.
Proposed resolution calling a fact-finding public hearing regarding the operations, administration, expenditures, policies, and employee concerns of the Public Works Department, authorizing the council attorney to take all lawful actions necessary to secure witnesses and records and prohibiting retaliation against employees participating in this hearing process.
This was a resolution that was included in the packet. Calling a fact-finding public hearing regarding the operations. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Yes, I make a motion that we approve this resolution for this fact-finding public hearing for what's going on with our garbage trucks, the maintenance, et cetera, of what's going on in our public works department.
Is there a second?
Madam President. Oh, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second.
Okay, now you can just.
Okay. Any employee concerns or matter of administration? And you know, I know that the council has the right to inquire, but that should come through administration. And any type of administrative, operational, questions should also come through administration. A public hearing is just that for the public. I have asked the public works director and the mechanic to attend next week's council meeting. They were out of town and one had a obligation with his job that he couldn't be here. The mechanic did, but they will be here. The council has already been advised by the former attorney that was here that you have no right to inquire about the disciplinary actions or any other thing that we do as far as administration is concerned. But it seems that every time, Madam President, there is not something that council wants to hear or feels like it doesn't apply to them, they just negate it. But we are really hoping and wanting to cooperate with the council in coming up with the best solution for the citizens as it pertains to this garbage situation. And so we have asked the mechanic to come in, just like we asked Mr. Kenneth to come in. We've asked Mr. Richard to come in with RDK. For next week, we asked the public works director. We'll also ask the supervisor over garbage to come in. Those are the people that handle the garbage. And they can speak to whatever policies that they or procedures or routes or things that they have been experiencing over in the public works department.
Madam President, last week when I brought this up, I said we could, if we had to subpoena them, then the mayor said there was no need for no subpoena. They would just come anyway. We're not looking to talk with them about no disciplinary actions. That's not what we're looking at. We're wanting to know about the garbage trucks over there on the lot and what's going on with those and what are they able to do, the mechanic, what's going on over there while our trucks are laying over there. And we got one out on the service road, been out there for I don't know how long. So that's what we're wanting to know. It's not no disciplinary actions. And the council have the right to ask that, and they really have the right to subpoena them here to get them to talk and tell us what's going on over there. Cause you got two buses, two garbage trucks over there. We're still paying a bill on those trucks every month and they're just laying there. And I listened to the young man here say about the service, the upkeep hadn't been done, and that's what's happening. They're over there just laying down. And you got one out on the service road. How long that one been out there?
Madam President, again, I mentioned that we did not have to subpoena them because I did mandate that they come to the next council meeting. As I said, one is stuck out of town and one had a prior work engagement. But I did mandate that they come to the council meeting for next week so that we can have those discussions with them. Now, as far as the maintenance on the 2019 trucks that's over in Public Works, I can't answer for what happened with those trucks or why they were redlined.
Well, that's why we get them in here so they can talk with us.
Well, I know that the mechanic was here, but the public works director was not here, and the gentleman that was the assistant superintendent. So, but they can come in and talk to what they have been given as far as the work order for the one for the $60,000, what that entails. But
Well, I don't know about all of that, but we just need someone to come and talk to us about these trucks. Because like I said, this city is using money to pay every month bills. Like I'm paying on my, like I would be paying on my car note. We paying a note on those trucks over there and they're just laying there.
And insurance, we also paying insurance.
That's what I'm saying, and that don't make no sense.
It does not.
Then we got somebody standing here, we wanna give them money. We need to see what's wrong with our stuff. And if you got mechanics over there, that's why we need to talk to them. And if they're not able to function in the line they should, then somebody else should be over there to function. So that's what, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. We're not over here trying to discipline them. We're here trying to get concrete information why A is happening, B is happening, and we can't get nothing done. We got to put out money, and this could be stuff we may not even have to put out. The man clearly said the trucks was not being serviced like they should.
Yes, ma'am, I understand what you're saying, Councilwoman.
So, but I wanted to be clear, we're not here to discipline them, because I wrote that down. You said discipline them. We're not here to discipline them. Yes, I wrote exactly what you said on my paper here, and that's what you stated. We are not here to discipline them. We are here to get information of why you hire people over there. If they can't do the job, they need to leave. Somebody's responsible. Yes, they need to leave. If they're not doing the job, we need to know that they're not doing the job, and we have to say something about it. And I'm quite sure that's how you feel. You wouldn't hire people just to be hiring them, and they don't know what they're doing.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
I understand your concern, and again, we will have them here in the.
Okay, but we just don't want to get stuff twisted.
Okay. Thank you. So there you go.
So the motion on the floor is for the motion for a resolution calling for a fact finding public hearing. There is a motion as a second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
I would say no, because the employees are coming next week.
Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Next item, amendment to the rental application.
It is a. This was placed on the agenda, if I'm not mistaken, from Mr. Petway for a rental application amendment.
Yeah, it just basically those, fees being lower on the, application.
Okay. Right, and it was included in the packet. Is there a motion
Yeah, we put it there.
to? No, not for this one. This was, that was for the peddler's fees that we voted on last week. Okay, is there a motion on the floor to refer this proposed amended rental application to the ordinance committee for review? The ordinance, is it an ordinance? It's a policy. It's a policy. Did y'all have a chance to look at it? Yeah, I looked at it. This is, that's fine. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
I'm gonna abstain from that because I haven't read that and I don't know what it says.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Abstain.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis,
Yes.
Councilman Smith,
I'm gonna say yes because last week when we did lower the other fees, they are in the same $100. And these do look feasible and there's not much change, but I hope it gets what we need. Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Next item, request of Mayor Davis for approval to establish the Prichard Town Historic Commission.
Yes, yes, Madam President, I'm asking the council to formally establish the Prichard Town Historic Commission because Prichard has been left out of the Town story. And we are considered West Town. And we need to have a governance, a body that strictly focuses on the Town historic preservation and promotion for the city of Prichard. So I'm asking the council to formally establish the Prichard Town Historic Commission.
Madam President, I have a question. We already have the Prichard Historical Commission. and we know it plays a vital role in documenting Pritchard's history. They recently did the Legacy Trail and they collaborated with the county on the remembrance markers. Why can't this be incorporated into the Prichard Historical Commission, which is already recognized by the state and it's a 5013C and it's fully staffed? I just don't understand why we have to have a whole new Africa Town mission.
So I spoke with the Prichard Historic Commission about this. Because if you look at the state of Alabama, the state of Alabama has a historic commission and a Black History Historic Commission as well. So it's just that specialized commission that will strictly focus on the Africa Town history for the city of Prichard. The Prichard Historic Commission right now, they're asking us to kind of put some new blood on the on the board on that commission and to actually give them a budget. They don't have anyone that's working full time because they don't have a way to pay. So my recommendation is that when the budget season comes around, that we actually put in the budget money for these commissions because there is huge revenues in cultural tourism, and Pritchard could tap into that. But because we do not have a commission that strictly focuses on the Africa Town story here in Pritchard, we have been at a disadvantage. And Mobile has had millions of dollars invested in Africa Town because they had those governing structures there to invest in.
Madam President, I hear both sides. I think, we definitely need, something, to represent Africa Town. And I don't see, I wish we had, the president of, Pastor Lewis here to speak on this. And I would like to try to table it so he could give his input and see if this could be a a subcategory for them or, but I don't see why we have to do a whole nother commission. But if we can incorporate the two, I would love to do that because it's already there moving and it's like you say, been approved by the state. And so, but we definitely need representation for our part of what we play issue for Africa.
Madam President, I would only add that the commission has been around, as you said, for a while and has been recognized. And if there was an interest in picking up the Africa Town history and really focusing on that, I would not, I don't think again that they have the capacity for it. Or else they would have already been doing that. And I spoke with Pastor Lewis about it, and he said that they would not be opposed to it because they have a lot on their plate, especially with the old historic Whistler I guess story or history.
Well, I agree with Councilman Smith that we table this until we can get input from some of the historic commission members. Because instead of just establishing a whole new thing, we could add members to them that could just be, and they could be under their umbrella, and their mission is for Prichard Africa Town.
They have taken on new members also.
Are you seconding his?
Did you make a motion?
He made a motion for a
Well,
while.
I second that motion.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis. Yes. Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried. Yes.
Money in the budget for some.
Yes, yeah, for real, for real.
If I may, I wanted to go back. What was what portion does the Alabama Historical have for Black history? You said something. Could you
Yeah,
give
there's
a bit more to that?
Yes, there is a Black History Commission as well. Under, there is a historical commission for Alabama, and then there's a Black History Commission.
really like that, and I've been gonna come out there and volunteer for you all too. But, I just thank you, cause you keep a lot of children in line. Will the games be played at these parks also?
Well, for this year, we're going through everything, but we won't be in pass this year because we're trying to.
Oh, yeah, this is just.
Yeah, it's just straight.
They start you off like that, that's great. Well, I would like, that would be a way that we can, if we do decide to, waive the fee, but that would be a way that we can get our money back, by having the games at these different High Point Park. These are really nice parks, so that could be a way that we can get the people back also. And maybe it's Miss Bettis, Paula Park over there, we need to get that park. Right. Going. And that may be a good project, it's not telling you what to say. What are y'all practicing? Football. Football, is Pollock Park set up to do football?
Not big enough.
I didn't remember. I know basketball.
You know, I want to have 2 Sunday days off of about today. I think Pilot Park work great for them.
That's what I saw.
Right. It's because they started that park.
Right. When would y'all be looking to start?
Hopefully by June 15th, I think I'll be.
So we can get a cleanup done over there. Okay. Okay.
Is there a motion to approve the Hill Academy to use High Point Park? Well, excuse me, Highland Park. For football training and waive fees for the dates and times requested.
No.
Saying pilot because High Point has 2 teams.
Right. Exactly.
Time they do the sign up and all this stuff.
I made a motion to approve.
I see.
Pollock Park. And to waive the fees for.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes, and name that championship trophy after me.
Yes, and I just take a ring.
I know y'all gonna win something.
I like to be and okay, yeah, they'll come by the clerk's office but thank you again. We really appreciate all you guys do over there. I know it's a lot of students at Excel that actually lives in the city of Prichard. So we are very grateful for you guys, pouring back into the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, y'all lose, but.
No, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited, very excited.
Request of Mayor Davis to refer definition and application to bike clubs to the ordinance committee.
Yes, there has been, Madam President, there has been a lot of, conversation around, the bike clubs here in, Richard, and it has been brought to my attention. And I hadn't seen it, but there's been, flyers and things put out about them doing business at the clubs and everything, but there is not a, specific license type for those kind of clubs. And so I think it would be beneficial if the ordinance committee reviewed that and come up with some resolution to that issue.
Is there a motion to approve a request of Mayor Davis to refer the bike clubs to the ordinance committee meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Request of Mayor Davis to discuss open gov's contract.
Yes, again, Madam President, when I first initially put Open Gov out and you, Councilwoman Hale and Councilwoman Bettis met with the gentleman who had flown in on that day. We didn't have council meeting. I think the other councilors had left. We said in the next meeting that we were gonna come back to discuss the savings, and we presented to the council all of the different contracts that we are paying for software. In addition to the fact that we are paying for the municipal billing to Prichard Water to the tune of like $15,000 per month. And so what we're asking is that the council, and maybe send it over to a committee to go back and look and have discussions around Open Gov again. So that again, we can save money and unify the government via software so that every department is on the same software. So that's my recommendation.
Yes, Madam President, I speak. Yeah, I think, that is a good idea to refer that over to the Finance Committee or another committee. Because first of all, I think we need an overview of account mate. What it can do, what it can't do, why it's not working, why it used to work, why it's not working, and do a side-by-side comparison of it and, OpenGov. Because that is a lot of money to invest over $300,000 in a new software, and I think we need to make sure that this time we get it right and it's doing everything it's supposed to do.
Yes, ma'am. And again, it's not just going to be for the finance. So what we could do in the discussion is not just look a side by side of the financial part, but also for public works and for the clerk's office, because they all have different softwares right now. And so, and how then too, they would all be integrated, how the community would be able to get reporting, how you all would be able to see reporting. And again, I think Councilwoman Hill and Betty saw the example of all of that. And, I don't know if they want to speak to what they saw now or in committee, but I think we do need to do a side by side of what each software offers to us.
Madam President, can we just at least just first get the Unicode? And then we gonna, just one thing at a time. Yeah, one thing at a time. Because I think it's very pertinent that we get our ordinance. Digital.
Madam President, I guess what we need was a motion to refer it to the finance committee. That was your recommendation.
That's my recommendation, and also to get the account made and just like really, really get into the nuts and bolts of what this does, what it doesn't do, and how this is so much better before we invest any more money.
I would like to make a motion that we refer the OpenGov proposal over to our finance.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis, Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yeah.
And then one other thing, and I would like to ask, we had talked about previously seeing if the gentleman that came from OpenGov could do a Zoom or something with the council. And I think we should put that back on the, work on that to see maybe, I don't know if he would come back, but at least do a Zoom. If he would do a Zoom so that those council members who didn't get to see it would be able to see.
When is the finance committee?
When is our next one? And just,
It's in June.
it'll be in June. Okay. Towards the end of June. Yeah, it's already. It's already, the list is already.
Okay, so would you all like to do the Zoom call prior to that?
I think that would be good.
Okay. So I
We
would
do
just,
before the finance committee. Yeah.
so I would just need to know, availability of everybody. We can,
Yeah, no.
we can offer a couple of times and then see.
Okay, so when could we get, an overview of the count mates? And who can do that for us?
Well, what we can do is, because did Sam analyze account mate? No, he did not. Okay. Well, would you like to give them an overview of account mate? Okay. Okay. So we can do that, maybe next week.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we'll do the Zoom with, Sam, which is the guy with Open Gov, sometime next week, but I'll send you out a couple of days. Okay. Motion carried.
Request of Mayor Davis to adopt ordinance amending the zoning ordinance of the city of Prichard to define and regulate data centers.
This is not necessarily a zoning ordinance, Madam President, I'm sorry.
Yes, if that on the ordinance that we received.
Zoning ordinance, okay. We played a little back and forth with that, I'm trying to get to it. Anyway, so one of the, things that we did when we went to the water rally is we had a class on data centers and governance when it comes down to creating policies around data centers. And I know that we have all had and heard the national conversation around data centers. And so it's incumbent upon us as the governing bodies for the city to come up with how do we protect our community when it comes down to data centers being proposed for our community. I can tell you that there have been multiple people that have reached out, not any major interest other than the one that we're talking about over on Telegraph Road, but inquiring about bringing more data centers in this area because Alabama is kind of like the last frontier. Every other state has had just an explosion of data centers, but Alabama has not. And so as a government, I'm making a recommendation based on the fact that we have pulled ordinances and best practices from Birmingham, again with the classes that we took when we went to Water Rally, and from Columbiana, Alabama, who has ordinances. For this council to adopt an ordinance that would give guidance to what we want to see as a city as it pertains to these data centers and how we can protect our citizens. And so,
I'm sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I think we do need an ordinance, but I would like to try to take a bit to speak to someone who I know is an expert on this, who I've been talking to about the data center. He is hands-on and just ask him to look at this and see if there's anything that we are leaving out. And he will also be there at the June 11th meeting. So I would just like, this is very important and I would like to for him to take a look at it also, and because people from all around are getting his expertise and asking him what does he think. And so I would like to, to see if we're leaving anything out and we can go forward from there.
To the council, I would also like the opportunity to collaborate on the drafting of this document since it if it is an ordinance that the council is going to adopt and move forward on, I think the council attorney should have a part in assisting with the drafting of that document and for contributing y'all's insights, et cetera, to the final product.
What, is there an ordinance already drafted?
This is, yeah, it's proposed, but it is a draft again,
I don't have anything to do with it.
right, it is a proposed draft and I'm sorry. It's a proposed draft and we do welcome the collaboration on the ordinance from legal and from the counselors, which is why we are proposing it as a draft. And we're asking that you all, I know you all cannot pass the ordinance on the first pass anyway, so if you would take the time and look at it and try to give us some feedback.
Madam President, who wrote this?
Again, this draft came from the.
Data center?
I'm sorry, did you ask me a question or are you saying something?
I'm asking you a question. Who wrote
Okay, did you say data center?
I'm asking you who wrote it.
No, it was not the data center. We wrote it, our administration wrote this ordinance.
Oh, I was gonna ask you to get it. Is they trying?
Yes, yes, I presented you at church.
We have a hearing, we're gonna have a class, you're presenting it on the 11th of June,
I'm not presenting anything.
but you're bringing the people in. It come from your office, then you all sent out,
We sent out
11th
an
of
announcement
June?
that the proposed data center would like to have a community meeting
Okay, that's what I'm saying, so
through the communications department.
that's under you,
Correct.
okay, so it come from your area, okay. Before we work on the ordinance and all that, we probably need to wait until we see this on June the 11th to see how this goes and see what happens. Okay, so we waste time doing that and maybe time wasting.
And then, excuse me, then I think we also gonna need a public hearing. There's a lot of chatter about this data center and a lot of concerns. And I have reached out to several people. I mean, this is just part of the stuff I got that's coming in about the data center. I think for us to pass a zone ordinance, which means we accept them to me. I think it's a little premature.
Okay, Madam President, again, I don't think passing a ordinance says that we accept anything. They still would have to apply for a business license, they would have to apply for zoning. That process is a public hearing. And so again, this is just an effort for this government to be proactive and to put things in place so that our citizens are protected and they know how to do business with us.
Thank you again, and I just wanted, the citizens to be aware to come out to the presentation that will be offered on June. I do want the citizens to know that we hear you. There have been a lot of chatter, good and bad, about the data centers. And we are elected to be the voice of the citizens, so I do want the citizens to realize we are listening to you. We hear you. And, I'll speak on my behalf. I was elected to be the voice of the citizens. And I will do that. So, it will be an informative meeting, I'm sure, to let them know the pros and the cons. But at the end of the day, I will stand and be a voice for the citizens.
As we all.
Hope so.
Concerns of Gregory Cheatham regarding speed bumps and barricades.
Is Mr. Gregory here? He may not be here at this time. We'll reach out to him. He may not be.
Request of Captain Marks to use the safe house, June 8th through 11th for police and fire explorers.
And I don't see Captain Mark's president as well. I'm sorry, Chief. I thought Chief you was.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, council. I'm here to talk on behalf of Kevin Moore. She had to leave, sharing the first city. Initially, she asked about using the building for the police school, fire school. She has got a huge response on so many kids only involved, so she's wanting to move it to the same house. Again, she wanted to do that because of so many kids, and also she want to utilize the area around Prichard State, like we do a lot of regular exercise and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, is that a motion? Yeah. So is there a motion to approve the request of Captain Marcus?
Motion to approve.
Yes, motion to-
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood.
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox Bettings.
Yes.
Councilman Smith.
Yes.
Councilwoman Hale.
Yes, motion carried.
Announcements.
Are there any announcements?
I don't know, Madam President, I don't have a. I mean, I have a question. I don't have a- I guess we reschedule, we didn't roll out.
No, PA rollout was actually scheduled for last Friday.
It was, yeah, okay.
I just canceled. There is no more announcements, is there? It's motion to adjourn.
Most of them.
Second.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Johnson Norwood,
Yeah.
Councilwoman Fox Bettis, Councilman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Hickel.
Yes, meeting adjourned.